And I'm Emerson Lehman. We begin with some breaking news this morning.
Yeah, we are following this in Sheboygan Falls, where police have closed down a stretch of road. The reason is they're calling it a critical incident. Officers are asking you to avoid Monroe Street between Water and Broadway Streets so they can investigate. And we have moved Kristen Allen to this area. She's on her way there. Of course, we'll be working to learn more about this critical incident in Sheboygan Falls. We'll keep you alerted as we learn new details.
Turning now to